the future of Desiree Ellis in this Banyana team for you?
I think if you want my crucial opinion, Andile, I think our coach did well. He put us on the map. We think we need a fresh mind. We need someone who have a second plan. We need to have someone who have a forward vision. Uzosibeka somewhere. Angithi yena usibeke somewhere. We need someone manje uzosibeka somewhere.
It's exactly 9 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. Thank you so much to Loot Love as well as Tebow Touch and the entire team. Of course, they bring you the touchdown every single weekday here on the Mighty Metro FM between 3 and 6. Very proud we are of that dynamic duo that takes over the airwaves and rolls out the red carpet for us to come in as sports that are amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. My heart is a little bit sore today. My heart is a little bit sore, but I mean, gee whiz, I'm also... I guess it's what they call Malcolm, I'm about to say this, epistemic ambivalence. It's a different, it's like oxymoronish in how you feel. It's two different. Yeah, ne. Malcolm, I'll explain later, but it's two different feelings. It's when you feel great but you feel sad at the same time. It's two things that shouldn't exist together, existing together. Because Banyana losing yesterday to Nigeria, I'm like, why and how? So I'm sad and I'm sore about that because I foresee an end of an era for this Banyana, right? But at the same time, my goodness, the Champions League dished out last night. These are the nights we live for. These are the nights that make us fall in love with the beautiful game all over again. Manchester City, Real Madrid. What a match, huh? What a match. Bayern Munich, Arsenal. Gee whiz. Beautiful matches yesterday. But also, another big talking point is Sundowns beating Cape Town Spurs. But that was not without controversy. Middendorp is not happy. So I said, we're not going to wait till Monday to discuss that. No, we're going to call the principal today. I'm going to ask him just two questions. The penalty given to Sundowns, was it a legit penalty? The penalty that was supposed to be awarded against Umvala and Sundowns, was it a legitimate call that went unanswered? Those are the two questions I'm going to ask him. He's seen the footage. He's gone through the clips. He'll answer those questions for us. It's exactly 11 after the hour 6. And hopefully we're going to get somebody to speak to us about Banyana because let me tell you why I'm not happy. Listen to this. This is the coach of... I don't mind losing. Listen, I understand that sometimes everybody loses something, right? But as South Africa, I don't ever want to lose to Nigeria. I don't want to lose to Nigeria. I don't care if it's a eating contest where we're eating pancakes. I want to eat more pancakes than Nigeria. I want to eat all the pancakes. If it's a fat measurement, I want to be the fattest person in the room. I don't want any Nigerian to be fatter than me. These are our sporting rivalries on the continent. I don't like losing to Nigeria. And it was compounded by the coach. And I mean, this is on the sporting field that I'm talking. Any other way, Nigerians know we're brothers and sisters in arms on this African continent. But on the field in 90 minutes, in 80 minutes, we should actually play them in rugby every day just to feel better again because they will trash them. But there's just a huge rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa. And it's one that we embrace as South Africans and Nigerians. And we love the sporting rivalry between the two countries. But listen to this. Randy Waldrum. This is the coach of Nigeria. Listen.
And so that's why I felt confident going into these two games. I know South Africa talked a lot before the two matches and, how they were going to do this and that. And we just kept quiet. I felt like I believed in our team. And I knew that we would be a hard team to break down, even with their talent. And the thing that you hope is that you can finish a few of your opportunities to advance. And I think that's what we did.
We talk too much. He's got every right to say it. We lost. Nigeria on the way to the Olympics. South Africa, we're staying home. But is it an end of an era for this Desiree Ellis team that, of course, she took over from Vera Pauw? Is it an end of an era for some of those players for the next big tournament? Let's get into the discussion. But also, hey, Champions League, every Arsenal fan that said they'd call me, I'm waiting. No. I don't like losing to Nigeria. And also, I'm encouraging the sports department in Nigeria to do better with their cricket and their rugby so we can start playing, and the swimming pool. And the swimming pool. I want a competition. I want the Olympics between two countries. You know, we'll play them in soccer. We'll play men's, women's. Boxing, I guess, sure. No boxing. We just need to settle the score between us and Nigeria. Competitively, sporting-wise, it is a huge thing between South Africa and Nigeria. So last night was a big game where Banyana were standing on all that is South Africa, especially after, the rivalry increased at the Africa Cup of Nations. Have a listen to what the coach said, which, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. I welcome it. Yes, it angers me a little bit and it irritates me a little bit, but that's what it's supposed to be. That's what sporting rivalry is. Listen to Vondram speaking about Banyana.
And so that's why I felt confident going into these two games. I know South Africa talked a lot before the two matches and, how they were going to do this and that. And we just kept quiet. I felt like I believed in our team. And I knew that we would be a hard team to break down, even with their talent. And the thing that you hope is that you can finish a few of your opportunities to advance. And I think that's what we did.
Yeah, we're going to talk Banyana. I welcome your calls. I'd love to hear from you. I watched that match and I thought to myself, you could give Banyana another 30 minutes here. Just give them another 30 minutes and say it's added on time or whatever. They're not scoring another goal or a goal. They just didn't look like they could score a goal. They didn't look like they had a goal in them. At home, yes, when you look at the difference in support, and I say this all the time, we play on the continent, be it at club level or at international level, to stadiums packed with loving fans of the game who make stadiums feel small and drive fear into opposition. We just don't have that in us. We don't. Because even when the stadium is full, we just can't do that. That's the one thing about us. And last night, I don't think Banyana felt our love. I don't think Banyana felt what we had been saying. People that were tweeting, people that were talking about it, I don't think they felt that, because that stadium, if you were at that stadium, you could have had conversations with your neighbor without having to get close. That's how bad it was, the attendance to a game that decided who goes to the Olympics. That's how big a game it was. We were a goal down. They beat us in Nigeria. They felt threatened in Nigeria. Yet when we got here, we're not the kind of people that are going to be hostile to the players and give them, a crappy hotel room, etc., etc. The one place where we can legally enforce our overwhelming support and show our threat is in showing support to our team. We failed to do so. Yeah, let's hear from Desiree Ellis, the reaction after the match. This is what the coach of Banyana, who of course can go down in history as the best Banyana coach, but I see a lot of you asking the question, is it the end of the road from her?
Knew that coming into this game we needed to score. We also knew that we needed to score as early as possible, because the longer the game went on, the more desperate we become. We didn't start well. We changed the formation slightly because we needed to score, and went with 3 up front. They got a chance very early on, and I think that was the only chance they got in the half, but we didn't go forward as much as we wanted to in the first half. Made a couple of changes in the second half and threw the kitchen sink at them. Unfortunately, that elusive goal didn't go in, and for that we're very, very disappointed.
Well, we speak about Desiree Ellis and everything. That's biting my tongue. And everything she's done and how amazing she's been as the coach of Banyana, correct? But what does this mean? When you look at the result over the last couple of games now, what does this mean for Desiree Ellis and her future?
The 2026 one is the doubles up as a World Cup qualifier, and you want to make sure that those players get experience of a tournament of such nature, because you want to make sure that players get experience. You want to make sure that, again, you get the mix right. You want to make sure that you have cover in all positions. You want to make sure of having a look, not just in the league. I don't think we've touched the whole of South Africa. I think the one area that we haven't done has been the rural areas, and I'm sure there's a couple of gems there.
So there it is. Obviously, Desiree Ellis, who's still buoyed by everything she's done and looks forward to the future with Banyana. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll park this bus. We're going to get back onto it. I'm hoping to get a hold of our guest, who is struggling to get a hold of at the moment, to just look at that game with us. But there was a big game. Sundowns, they did the unthinkable. They went again and broke that 50 points barrier at this time, which is incredible, this team and what they've done. They've grinded out results. Last night, no different. Scoring a goal, threw a penalty, Ribeiro taking charge again as the leading goal scorer in the DStv Premiership, but it was not without people saying, hey, I think they've benefited here once again. Victor Hlungwane, he normally comes in on a Monday. I'm going to bring him in just to talk about the two decisions made last night and Sundowns winning and getting all 3 points. Congratulations to Sundowns. But were those decisions correct ones? And then we'll get into some Champions League football. Well, we've become the ultimate show that answers all questions asked, and last night was one of those. Too many of you asking us to have a look at those incidences from the game, Cape Town Spurs versus Mamelodi Sundowns. We couldn't wait till Monday, so Victor Hlungwane is going to be joining us today to have a conversation about just those 2 quick points on the 2 decisions. I think the one is straightforward, which is a Sundowns penalty, but there is a lot more discussion about Mvala on Cupido, I think it was. Was that a penalty? For that, I need to go to the principal, Victor Hlungwane. Victor?
And good evening to the listeners.
Hey, sorry to bug you on a Wednesday, man.
No, don't worry. We are the servant of football.
Well, servant, have a listen to this before we begin. I want you to hear what the coach, Middendorp, had to say after last night's match. Have a listen.
If this game is decided by a penalty, I don't know. I haven't seen it. It was outside. It was not. But I know only that the linesman was really not convinced about, was very clear against this decision. I heard both referee always talking that he was obviously also convinced about that it was an outside.
That's the first one. But he goes on, Victor, to speak about just the general refereeing standards in this league.
I must say, really, I'm shocked. I'm shocked how the right centre back from Swallows opened the door and allowed to score the goal, what brought them 3 points. I'm totally shocked. I think it has nothing to do with soccer if something is this. And I read a lot from the technical director of Safa, and it's okay. He probably is right that, and I said it already before, in average, the quality of coaching should be better. More qualification, more licenses, there's no doubt about it. But who the hell is talking about crippling games, crippling level of talking about the referees, talking about make it professional, talking about make it more really relevant. Who's talking about this department? And I think if we talk about crippling players, crippling games and clubs, I think we should really open a discussion.
Well, the discussion is open, Coach. And to begin, the task that we start every Monday is Victor Hlungwane. Victor, let's talk about the 2 incidences. Starting with the first one, Sundowns awarded a penalty.
Yeah, let's start with the first one where Shalulile was brought down. The law says when 2 or more offenses happen at the same time, the referee must punish the more serious offense. When 2 offenses happen at the same time, the referee must punish the more serious offense. So in this case, we had holding that was done by Shalulile and the defender there. We also had tripping that happened outside. Holding continued up until inside, but both players were holding each other. So who do you punish there? You cannot punish the other one and leave the other one. You let it go. But the more serious one, which was tripping...
Okay, hold on, David. Let me pause you there before you carry on. Because if you look at the Cape Town Spurs Twitter page, X page, that's what they highlight. The fact that Shalulile, before the tripping happens, he's got in his hand a shirt full of the defender's shirt. So you're saying because both of them were entangled, so to speak, you don't punish, you let that go.
Basically, the pulling of the shirt and the tripping happen at the same time.
Okay.
So now what does the law say? The law says when 2 offenses happen at the same time, the referee must punish the more serious one. So between the 2, we further realized that both players were holding each other. So now, between the holding offense and the tripping, which one is more serious? Tripping is more serious because holding, after all, both players are holding. So who will you punish? You can't punish. So you take what? The tripping, which will result in a direct free kick outside the penalty area, which will result in a free kick, no penalty because tripping did not happen inside. The player might have fallen inside, but the contact happened outside that led to him falling inside. So the first one, we can safely say the tripping offense happened outside the penalty area, of which a direct free kick should have been awarded outside.
So it should have been. So you're saying it was definitely awarded correctly to be awarded to Sundowns. It was just awarded wrongly in that it was outside the box where the incident began and not inside.
Exactly, and they might have been confused by the holding offense that end inside. But again, when you look at the holding offense, yes, the player was holding Shanulile's shirt, but Shanulile as well was also holding, as you mentioned it, was also holding. So we'll go to law and get guidance. The guidance that we get is when two offenses happen at the same time, the referee must punish the more serious offense, of which tripping was the more serious one.
Okay, so it's right, but it's wrong as well in that. But I mean, the more detrimental one is the penalty awarded, and that was the wrong call. You can safely say that the penalty given to Sundowns was a wrong call. It was supposed to be awarded to Sundowns, but outside the box.
Exactly, that was supposed to be free kick outside the penalty area. Then that would have been a correct decision because tripping happened outside.
Let's move on to the second one. The penalty call.
The penalty call. We saw Vala getting the ball. The ball was in the air, and then he got the ball first. And where must the leg go when it gets the ball from up? It must go down. The force of gravity tells us what goes up must come down. It's only the time that goes up and does not come down. And the edge, it goes up but does not come down. But everything that goes up, we are told that it must come down. So Mbala's leg got up and it got the ball. After getting the ball, the leg went down and collided, or it made contact with the leg of the attacker there. So where is the offense? Because football is a contact sport. If you make contact after getting the ball, and the fact that Mbala got the ball first, it gives him a huge advantage to say whether you come and collide with him. So when you come and collide with him, you should be colliding with the ball, not with the man who got the ball. So Mbala got the ball first, which was a clean tackle, a fair play, fair challenge. So why should you punish him for getting the ball? Because you collide with him, and when you collide with him, you want to claim a penalty. How many times have we seen players clearing the ball and attacker comes to make contact with him? So we cannot punish the defender for that. He got the ball fair and square, so therefore there's no offense committed by Mbala there.
All right, that's the principle. He's spoken. He's the official, decision maker in this country. If he says so, then it is so. Principal, I appreciate you. I can't. Arsenal and Bayern Munich 2-2 is how that match ended. What a thriller of a game. Saka scoring the opener there at the 12th minute before Gnabry in the 18th. It was a penalty that Kane took. Another goal against Arsenal, his favourite team to score against. Kane there scoring in the 32nd minute, and then Trossard in the 76th equaling the score. Sadly, see, this is why I liked away goals rules. Because now it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter because away goals rules has fallen away in the Champions League. There's no more away goals. So it doesn't matter anymore. The score is as is. And, the next leg is it doesn't have that added pressure of you got 3 against you at home. So sad. I wish that's a one part of football I still enjoyed. Many said it was unfair. I didn't think so. So I missed that. Real Madrid and Manchester City 3-3 is how that ended there as well. Some amazing goals, especially from a Manchester City point of view. So looking forward to the second leg of that. There are games this evening, of course, in the Champions League. It's Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona. Those are the 2 games you can look out for at a 9 o'clock. I struggled yesterday. And I told you guys, I struggled to watch 4 games. It was a mess, because it was the DStv Premiership, Sundowns, Cape Town Spurs, was Banyana. It was the 2 Champions League matches. My man. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, then I'd love to hear from you guys, especially when it comes to Banyana. That's got to have been a sore point for many of us. There's so many of your voice notes. It's one of those days where we do have the time to take your calls. It doesn't happen often, so when it does, let's capitalize on it. It's one of those days where you can speak about anything, because there was a DStv Premiership match yesterday, so we can touch on the DStv Premiership Sundowns if you want to. There's some games today as well in the DStv Premiership that we can speak of. There was Champions League football. There is tonight again. There's Banyana qualifier for the Olympics, so we can speak about that as well. Taking your calls on 086 0002160. WhatsApp, I see they're already coming in. 060-552-7303. Desiree Ellis asked about his future, and I think I know where the journalists were going with this one. You know, very blasé. Says, hey, she's looking forward to doing better, to finding more talent. But have we reached a point where the current Banyana team, as we know it, as we have it, is perhaps an outgoing crop of players? When you look at Tembi, when you look at Refilwe, when you look at Nuku, you know, when you look at the current players, what they've done, where they've gone, and they've done amazingly. This is going to go down in history as one of the greatest teams that Banyana has ever put out. But have we reached a point where we didn't do better or enough to get younger players ingrained in this team in time, and now we're suffering for it? Because that Nigerian team we played yesterday is nowhere near some of the best teams we've ever played. It's not. It's not even top 5 of the greatest Nigerian teams. But we couldn't do anything against them. And we had our Arsenal yesterday, huh? We had our best players. What happened?
Good evening, Ma'a. I just want to touch on the Banyana game last night against Nigeria. When I tell you what my little brother was disappointed with a capital D. He looked forward to Banyana qualifying. Ever since Risa Shebile Afcon, he was always so adamant at the fact that Banyana Rea World Cup, Rea the Olympics. And then he spoke that consistently out into the universe. Mabani, disappointment is an understatement. But we don't lose hope. We keep on supporting our girls. But all I'm saying is that my little brother is disappointed. He is hurt by...
Come back to Banyana. Abadlalile bantwana bafethu kwalile simukeleni. But when it's come to DStv, Sundowns alimoda salibhola la South Africa. Bese kuyabonakala ukuthi abantu bathenga bo-ref. Ngoba leya is a clear, akusiyo penalty, akusiyo at all. Babanikeza penalty umkokotero egcineni bathi bayashaya. Hawa, Thabiso from Elmer.
This is Bongani Khumalo in Durban, man. This is really ridiculous. This is really ridiculous. You know, we can praise Sundowns A to Z, but when you speak about the DStv Premiership, it's really ridiculous when it comes to the favors that they are actually getting. You know, if you look at the number of matches that you can count and the incidents that have actually occurred, which are not supposed to be benefiting Sundowns this season, Sundowns should have lost so many points this season. It wouldn't really be so much of a gap difference. And if you look at the clubs as well as Orlando Pirates, you look at how many times they've been disallowed opportunities which are to their advantage. It's ridiculous, ma.
Hello, Andile and the team. To be honest, I didn't pay too much attention on Banyana's game. I was focused on the Champions League, and they didn't disappoint. It was thrilling and like, wow, I shared it. Football is a beautiful game. Thank you for the good show always.
Aye.
Sure, the problem in SA the national team is not being played around the country. One thing I can tell you for free, hot manager, bring the national teams. Be Banyana, Bafana, Amajimbos, or even the league games. More blow. And when I'm bluff and then we are hungry for soccer. Wanama Celtics, we will fill up the stadium. Thanks, Hotman. Hello.
Desiree will take us to the next World Cup. You know why? Because she's lowly paid. Safa does not have money to spend on quality coaches. The only money they have is to pay for the president, his bodyguards, his house. This is your point in Popo Peter.
I wonder what has Andile Dlamini done to Desiree. I'm not sure how to put it. She didn't have confidence in Andile Dlamini to think she's a top goalkeeper at Sundowns. I think she's tried all the options, man. She must do something else now and give someone a chance. Desiree. So see here.
Hi, Ma, in the Metro FM listeners. I understand your frustration about the loss last night. But I think Safa is to be blamed also. You can't take such a game that is playing during the week to a huge stadium like Loftus. At least take it to Ekas, the East Lucas Moripe Stadium and other stadiums at Ekas. Take it there. And you'll have seen a different Banyana. Thanks, Petros from Pretoria.
Thanks, Petros. Timmy, what was the stadium in Davidton? Sinaba, ne? I think it was Sinaba Stadium. Timmy can't hear me. I think it was Sinaba in Davidton. Do you remember when Banyana used to play their games there? Yeah? And in a game like that, you guys are always talking about, hey, Andile, you don't like free entrance. That's the game you free entrance and you put it in Lokshina. I think there's something in there. Let's take your calls now. Majoro is out in Soweto, wants to talk about the Sundowns and Spurs game in the DSTV Premiership last night. Sundowns getting all 3 points through a penalty and winning that match 1-0. Majoro.
Abuti ugrel.
Ke shapo Majoro.
Ntati man. Bona abuti ke shebile game ya Sundowns maobane. And ke thabile gore ntate Vitao kene a bua because this ne re tsamela bo Monday ai ke story. Story.
So then you agree with his decision? Well, you don't have to agree because I mean he's the law, but what do you think of his decisions?
No, all right.
All right.
He made a good actually he made a good point. Do you think there'll ever be a solution to Tabaya that officiating more PSL? Because how to after the incident, I don't think a solution.
I mean, when you look at world football, very much like any sport, tennis, with the Hawkeye, you've got cricket, you've got rugby. All of these sports, modern day, they all have technology helping them. Every single one of them. Football has got technology helping them. So those referees are human. They make mistakes all the time. Although some of the mistakes that our referees are making are fundamental in law, which makes you question if they even know the rules. But until we get goal line technology, until we get VAR, we can only ever partially blame the referees.
Okay, Abuti. Okay.
Thank you. That's Majoro. Wanted to speak about all things DSTV Premiership and the refereeing. Let's go to David. David is in Nukuruleni. He wants to speak about the referees. David is also one of Victor's best friends, eh? David.
Evening. Thank you, and the crew for taking my call. I know you promised me a call on Monday that I must engage Vic, but wallah.
I completely forgot, David, and you are correct. You must hold us to account. We were wrong. I'm terribly sorry, but say what you need to say now. We'll record it, and he is listening.
Yes, you know what? I have a series of incidents that I would have loved to be a case study. You know, I checked a game between Skukune and Pirates. The first goal, Pirates defender was pulled down. It was waved play on by Weber. If you check on the 88th minute, I noted it. It was waved play on. The Mabasa penalty was Mr.
Yeah, we spoke about that on Soccer Zone. Yeah, we spoke about that penalty.
He said there are recently rules by FIFA. I just want him to tell us when they were gazetted so that we can get help. And I also checked a game between SuperSport and CS Galaxy. There was a foul by Mujela on SuperSport defender. it was issued as a foul. And then I checked, it was exactly like the Sundowns goal yesterday. The Sundowns player pulled a Spurs defender and ended up getting a penalty that was way outside the 18 area.
Yeah, we just discussed that one now, yeah.
Yeah. I checked the Zwane penalty when they were playing Pirates in the first leg. It was a dubious penalty. And then you listen to the coach of Sundowns, the way he is so vociferous and so pompous, and it's just turning everything into an object of ridicule, because now soccer should not be inclined on mistakes that benefit one team. It should be they say justice is blind. The mistakes should benefit all the teams, but once it benefits one team, it is designed. Yeah.
So, according to your analysis of this season, you think that Sundowns in particular have had a lot of favors from refereeing? That's what you've observed?
Without doubt, I'm putting my head on the block. Do case study. Check the
I'll tell you what. I actually want to take this conversation on. David, please hold on the line. Timmy's going to take your details, and I want you to send us all these incidents, because I don't want us to speak in vacuum here. You know, let's speak in fact. We're football people. We're people that deal in stats and facts, correct? So send us all those things that you think that benefited Sundowns. I'll give every single one of them. Don't leave one out. We'll give them to the referee, and then we'll come back and tell you how many of those were correct or incorrect decision. Give us as much detail as you can in your incidences. Timmy, please take David back. Thank you so much. That's David there. Let's do a little bit of homework here. Let's see. Let's go to Tsecho. Tsecho's out in Pretoria. Wants to speak about Banyana. Tsecho.
David, ma.
Hey, man, talk to me.
Yeah, what's on Goldanski, Bane, and security is coming. So,
Siona France, asa buele Talk to me. What do you want to say?
Yeah, Andile, about Banyana, for me, I think that was right. It was meant to happen.
That was right.
Yeah, my coach, our coach, busy. What has Andile done to her? Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Number one goalkeeper in Zanzi or with Yamasaite. Right now, you did also one show where it might be mental that like mentally.
Yeah, she asked not to be selected because mentally she's not. And she's a second player in the team, if not the third, to leave Banyana because they fear for their mental health.
Yeah, one. So now I was saying, once give one early full time, not. I was saying before that because I think she has a big head. This coach, and you cannot do that.
But I mean, look at all she's achieved. Doesn't she deserve to be sitting where she's sitting?
Mara mutamu fikise mogemang. Nasa the number one goalkeeper Sandy. Nasa me. So another no mutamu fikise mo memo sidelining forward. Lanes has gone. Besides, okay, that's Banyana. It's okay. One thing, I didn't want to talk about my team, but I'm going to talk about it right now. I don't understand why are people where Chiefs the Pirates the benefit. I remember Renaro logo class. Pirates win the double treble. There was nothing talked about hey referee. There was nothing like that.
Let me tell you something. Because Mukwena on Twitter, spokes M10, just said the same thing. Is it Sundowns who are the problem, or is it the refereeing issue? How many wrong calls are made every week? And I think Coach Middendorp was correct to say, yes, there were wrong decisions made last night, but he didn't say it favors Sundowns. Sundowns are one of the most attacking teams in South Africa. They play those short passes, so it's always going to be a thing with them when you put them down, because, you know what I mean, because of the sort of football and where they play it. But I think it's correct to say the standard of refereeing in general is not good, and the calls that are made in general are not great. Hence, Kitsego David, Ampedi, the incidents are Sundowns, so that we can go check them for him and come back and say it's not a Sundowns issue, it's a refereeing issue.
Correct. You must understand. We put players in the field. We don't put the referee as well in the field. They don't come from Sundowns. They don't. We have 11 players that come from Sundowns that plays in there. We don't have referees in Sundowns. No. We don't have referees. like right now. Right now. Are maybe referee, guys.
Listen, our interview today was supposed to be Portia Modise to look back at the conversation with Banyana last night. But Portia, because uyamazi uPash uyamazi. uPash uyamazi. Wangaphendula ifoni, uyiphendula manje. Pash wawungenza so. Pash, very quickly, what do you think of Portia Modise, former Banyana player, one of South Africa's greatest of all time? What do you think of the result last night? I was disappointed. It is Andy,
it's not something to bullies about Mamela Jo, Mamela Mihetegile Namanje, and the Yantala born in Nigeria, a poor ganje, since Najala women's football. Like we needed to beat that team. Like they didn't have nothing to scare us. They can't trap. They can't use their depths. They can't even do 5 touches. That is not the Nigeria team we used to play with. The Nigeria that we used to play with, it was a stronger one. I believe with the last 68 minutes, Nigeria was tired. But we didn't have leaders go ground and the people who will take over and say, guys, and wake up other teammates. We don't have skillful players. That defense,
But, okay, so what was the issue as far as what we are concerned? Desiree Ellis' team, why is it that we couldn't set up? I mean, no more sneaker another 30 minutes, like Portia. It didn't look like we could score a goal.
Mamela, it's not just something. I once said it before, Gary, to win the AFCON, it took so much preparation, and the preparation and the structure was put by Vera Pau. I was there. I was a part of that structure when that thing happened. I saw what Vera Pau did with that team, and I knew what the plan was to win the AFCON. I don't know why Vera Pau left, and of course, Desiree was the assistant. He used to work with Vera, and they have a relationship, even now they speak. I'm sure he advised Desiree a lot of things. But the only crucial thing that I knew was going to happen after winning the AFCON, after going to the World Cup, you needed to go and find another talent.
So what do you think of the current squad now as they are? Do we carry on like this?
I think Joe Hollywood Bet has got so much potential. I think if you can go scout proper and select a proper talent, that will mix with those who still can and push the program. It's not like every player there, some of them, they are old now. You need to remember, they've been long. I played Libo, so now it's about time now which they need to leave. But now it's about who's going to replace. We do have the talent. Just go and watch the Hollywood and select the players who are deserving to play in the national team. Joe, I do believe we do have players out there who can represent. If we can stop of the favoritism and select players just because of the marriage, I do believe we can come up with a proper team.
I keep hearing this thing about Desiree Ellis and favoritism. Portia.
Mata, you look at that team, Joe, player I'm not I watch women's football. There's a lot of players I believe they can be in that squad and do change. But I see a lot of colors today. They don't have jam, Joe. We need jam. And the only problem, especially in women's football.
Are we not being racist now, Portia? You're saying that because Desiree Ellis is colored, she's picking colored players?
The national team, you're self-racist. The national team, you're self-colored racist. It's not me.
So you think that because she's colored, she's picking colored players?
Joe, it's been happening. Even these players that they want to talk, they talk in their corners. You understand? So it's what I'm saying. We sometimes we're not inside. You know, the same players who go and play there that we're not going to say their names, they are our friends. They tell us what is going on there. But besides them telling us, like I said, I watch women's football. I do believe there are players out there. Andile, you tell women's football was being carried by black people. You go back, we only had 3 colors, 4 colors. You tell we were carrying the national team as black people because Simnandi. That is why it's a problem, because when I watched the game yesterday, we need my skill. We need skillful players, people who can think, people who can rock the game. We didn't have those people. We were just playing straight football against Nigeria. Well, because we needed Sugela.
I mean, Portia Modise, her views, her opinions, and of course her vent from her heartbreak from yesterday's results. We've been hearing about very unfounded at the moment, very unfounded. No players come out and spoken about favoritism, yet we are hearing about it in corners. You know, the picking of players because they are a certain race is something, once again, unfounded. But, you know, this is Portia's experience from what she's been hearing in her corners. And I'm going to let her speak her experience, but I'm also going to put it out there to say these are unfounded claims that have not yet been tested. Very quickly, Portia, before I have to go, the future of Desiree Ellis in this Banyana team for you?
I think if you want my crucial opinion, Andile, I think our coach did well. You know, he put us on the map. We think we need a fresh mind. You know, we need someone who will have a second plan. You know, we need to have someone who will have a forward vision. You know, who's bigger somewhere. I need to bigger somewhere. We need someone who's bigger somewhere. You know, it's not like sometimes when you leave the position, you didn't do well. You know, you did well to put it there. Probably we need someone else who could put it somewhere. We understand. And Mamela, I don't have any beef. Misunderstand. You know, I'm just speaking my own opinion. My own football is a game of opinion. And for me, I feel good right now. Without any disrespect, we need to have a way forward. You know, a way forward is giving other coaches an opportunity to take over where there's Asbegekon, because he did well. It's not like she didn't do well. She did it, but moving forward, I think we're struggling a little bit.
Portia, I wish you had come on early because we would have had a proper test of these conversations. But thank you so much for coming on, Bash. Portia Modise, Bashin, as she's known to those that love her, just didn't have the time. She came on. She was supposed to be here on the air at 10 past, quarter past. It didn't quite work out that way. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, somebody who's on the know-how, one of my favorite coaches, in fact, Onamuren, says to me, how do you take all your offensive players, put them on the grandstands, and have more defensive players on the bench? Noko, Lona Tamba, Mhlongo, Figile Magama. You had also, who was it? Magaya. No, it was Noko, it was Figile, it was Bambanani, Rigirl, Kobamelo, Sibulelo, all of them, right? And then the attacking players, the Kasani twins, Machaya, Mutao, Majaya, Mtandi on the grandstands, and those players are all attack-minded. So did we get it wrong from the bench? I've got a feeling I'm going to have to be answerable to a lot of what Portia said, but nonetheless, we had to take Portia and reflection because she said, hey, I've got a couple of things to say. We're going to get out of here. I'll spot you tonight on Sport at 10. It's 3 after the hour 7. My name is Andile Ncube. For myself and my entire team, Malcolm, Olapara, Pela, and so.